love! It's love waiting to embrace us. Embrace us! Okay, let's read. Holy shit! How is it that I have so much effective military strength? Okay. Citadel Defense Force. The Council created the Citadel Defense Force to support Shepard in the war against the Reapers. The CDF includes ship soldiers from every council race, complements from a few species without official membership status have also quietly joined. After the attempted coup, no offer of assistance is being turned out by the Council and its advisors. An increase in refugees on the Citadel depleted resources that might have otherwise gone to defense systems and personnel. Warning people on the Citadel to prepare for war has improved civilian readiness. A con artist exploding refugees was thrown off the Citadel. Security improved on the docks as a result. Spectre authorization released medical supplies from customs to La Huerta Hospital, improving the quality of patient care. Spectre gave CSEC permission to tap into the surveillance of private citizens. CSEC used this footage to make several arrests, improving security. CSEC has been ignoring legal sales of weapons to civilians. Some awful elements have taken advantage of this to build an arsenal, increasing the crime rate as they settle old scores. Housing was found for students from Grissom Academy too young to work in the Prothean device. These gifted teenagers have been helping, however, by dealing with repetitive problems that can be delegated to VIs. CSEC is focusing on smaller crimes and misdemeanors. This has spread their forces thin. What? Okay. Decreasing the efficiency when dealing with larger threats. I didn't do that. Okay. The reassurance is that keeping money in the bank is critical to the war efforts. Both those merchants are making donations to the relief efforts and defense forces in the Citadel. Schematics recovered by Commander Shepard are helping CSEC easily locate and shut down active turrets led by Cerberus. Schematics of advanced biotech amplifiers from Gison Academy increase the endurance of something or another. The Alliance, let's look. The Alliance is bringing the bulk. Next is the Krogan, and next the Turian. But yeah, we're still dominant. Yeah, I did meet Jack. I was very surprised. Okay, the Asari Shiala was rescued by Commander Shepard from the Thorian and Sushope. Now she leads a militia of Sushope's colonies waging a surprisingly effective campaign against encroaching Reapers. Shiala suspects the group's prior connection to the Thorian gives their soldiers an uncanny ability to sense one another, allowing to think as one in battle. The long-term consequences of this connection are unknown, but for now at least its effects are helping the cause. Many respected Asari scientists have used their lifelong spans to become leading experts in their fields. Asari scholars often gain perspective on how cultural shifts affect society, grasping the larger contextual forces behind the new proposals and using these to springboard into hypotheses years ahead of their time. The Asari science team working on the Crucible consists of some of the keenest scientific mavericks in the galaxy, eager to contribute to its construction. The Asari Second Fleet is largely composed of frigates and fighters, embodying the Asari hit-and-run mindset with a nimble swarm rather than a slower collection of vessels. The second is normally dispatched to protect colonies from raiders or mercenary activity. The second fighter squadrons are intensely competitive, racing to break new records set by other teams, but unquestionably loyal to each other in a fight. The Sixth Fleet has more dreadnoughts than any other collection of ships in the Asari Navy. An almost superstitious dread has grown around its entrance into the conflict, as any war with the Sixth Fleet has never remained small. It was the Sixth that flew against the Ragna in the beginning of the Ragna Wars, and it was the Sixth that liberated the first colony under siege in the Krogan rebellions. Unfairly or not, its service people have a reputation for being sober, ferocious, and humorless. Nevertheless, the Sixth is a welcome sight for any ally when it arrives. Okay. Advanced Fighter Squadron. A squadron of fighter ships was liberated from Cerberus forces in our area. Fast, agile, and remarkably fuel efficient, this one-person spacecraft packed surprisingly heavy firepower for their size. After the Alliance installed their own BI programs and swept for hidden bugs and transmission signals, they repainted the fighters and pressed them into service. Okay. Fucking Salarians, they're not doing shit. Okay. Well, the Citadel Council officially dismissed the existence of Reapers for years. The high-level STG operatives harbored suspicions that their return might be imminent after the Battle of the Citadel. These leaders quietly began to advise the Special Task Group to prepare for the worst. In accordance, the STG is ready to deploy a sizable task force to deal with the Reaper threat. Uh, The Turian Navy has most dreadnoughts of any known species in the Milky Way. The Turian hierarchy has limited production of these ships only because the Treaty of Farixen strictly controls the number of dreadnoughts due to their destructive capabilities. The Turian 6th is technically classified as peacekeeping fleet. Before the Reapers, it was cheaply used to patrol the space around the Citadel. Now it's ready to fly in areas trying to fight off the invasion. The 7th Fleet was assigned to the privilege on board, and I think this is something I already read. Yeah, crates of dexter amino acid gel have been shipped out to the Torian 7th Fleet to resupply with help. This resupply will help Torian mates with potentially fatal wounds. Commander Shepard interview with Diana Alders emphasized Krogan reliance on Turian support to win the war. Which boosted the morale of Palaven's forces. Recovering the legendary banner of the First Regiment lifted the spirits of the Turian forces. That's it. Okay. We're doing great. We're double the minimum amount. That's nice. I think you just put it on the wound and it patches it over. Magic. It's all magic, Visors. Never believe this is sci-fi. Never believe it. Okay, since we are reading, why not read the codex right away? The Cerberus coup. Yeah, maybe you can eat it, yeah, as well. The Atarian guy in Mass Effect 2, yeah. Or there is no plague wound. Well, you just stick it in the eyes and it goes into a bloodstream. Consular Udina's attempted coup will no doubt be analyzed for generations to come, but a clear picture is beginning to emerge. Udina had contacted Cerberus to coordinate what was intended to be a bloodless takeover of the Citadel, in which he would force the other councilors to grant him emergency powers so that he could command the Citadel fleet. He would then direct the fleet to liberate his homeworld, Earth. The plan fell apart early when Executor Palin and the Salaria Councilor caught wind of it. In defense of the plan, the elusive man dispatched his top assassins, commanded by Kai Leng, to kill them. Molina had little choice but to support the assassins with an armed force sufficient to hold the citadel. Capture confidants have indicated that Udina and Leng's alliance was relatively fragile. Molina may have planned to turn on Sermons while the fleet was under his command, and Leng departed when he calculated that Udina would not succeed. Persistent rumors suggest that Udina might have been a high-functioning victim of Reaper indoctrination. His actions played right into the Reaper's plans. Even if the coup failed, it would damage the Citadel governance. If it succeeded, his plan to retake Earth would likely have turned into a military blunder that Council forces could ill afford. However, there is no direct evidence of this indoctrination, nor obvious opportunity. It's more likely that Udina acted out of desperation, and in doing so, cost humanity its counselor. Well, he was a fucking idiot. The minor side effect. No, medical cures. How can it yeah, cause blindness? Impossible. Impossible, my sirs. Harvesting. Let's see if it's not an update. Even with all the Reaper's power, harvesting every serpent species in an entire galaxy can take decades or even centuries. The most time-consuming part of the process is gathering DNA from the population. To accelerate the effort, Reapers follow a consistent procedure. Victims who cooperate, surrender, or are captured by husks are sorted into camps. Beneath the husks possess receptors that allow them to analyze the victim's DNA through a sight, smell, or touch. Victims that meet their standards are herded into the camps into processorships. Those husks deemed insufficient Those the husks deemed insufficient are either turned into husks themselves or indoctrinated to serve as slave labor. The Reapers use this last option to give their victims a false hope. Many captives who would otherwise fight back become docile, and when they see members of their own kind, obey and survive. The processor ships reduce victims to a transportable liquid. Like in a slaughterhouse, the ship's design prevents victims from seeing or hearing what happens elsewhere so that they do not panic. The victims are ushered into locking pots, then rent apart and dissolved into paste that is flushed into storage baths. It all sounds so efficient. The rate of killing is phenomenal. Intelligence estimates suggest that more than 400 processor ships on Earth, killing approximately 1.86 million humans per day. In combination with battlefield deaths, disease, and famine, this pace will result in the complete depopulation of Earth within a decade. And the husks and indoctrinated slaves build more slaughtering facilities. The kill rate can only increase. Although clearly technologically superior to the Citadel forces, the Reapers have experienced casualties in the battles across the galaxy. This indicates that, theoretically, with the right intelligence, weapons, and strategy, the Reapers could be defeated. Unlike Mass Effect relays that they created, Reapers do not have quantum shields. Locking itself down at a quantum level would leave a Reaper unaware of its surroundings until the shielding is deactivated. Instead, Reapers rely on kinetic barriers. In the case of Reaper capital ships, these kinetic barriers can hold off the power of two dreadnoughts simultaneously, but three clearly causes strain and four typically result in destruction. Weapons designed to maximize heat damage, such as the Thanix series, show better results against the Reapers than pure kinetic impacts. The barriers of a Reaper destroyer are less formidable than those of a capital ship. It is possible for a single cruiser or many fighters to disable or demolish a destroyer if they can get within range before they are themselves destroyed, obviously. The Reaper's energy sources are not infinite. For example, to land on a planet, a Reaper must substantially reduce its mass. This transfer of power to its Mass Effect generators leaves the Reaper's kinetic barriers at only partial strength. Soren was destroyed while assuming direct control over Saren. The feedback from Saren's death seemed to entirely overload Soren's shields. The current Reapers do not seem to suffer from this design flaw. Reaper capital ships can turn faster than the Citadel dreadnoughts, but to do so they must lower their mass to a level unacceptable in combat situations. Consequently, it is possible for a dreadnought to emerge from FTL travel behind a capital ship, then bring its guns to bear faster than the Reaper and can return fire. This is a poor tactic, however, against Reapers flying in proper formation. And that's it for that codex. Let's go with this one.
An unremarkable world located far from regularly traveled trade routes, Lessus is inhabited only by a small Asari colony. The main feature is a monastery that houses a large population of Asari with active or latent Ardot-Yakshi gene.
What?
A disorder that causes the death of anyone who mates with the afflicted Asari.
Holy shit.
Though some of the colonists exiled themselves voluntarily, many were sent to Lessus by their families to protect society from their deadly potential.
That's
The
where
monastery emphasizes individual sacrifice for the good of the community. Latent Ardot-Yakshi, as well as active sufferers who show that they can control their condition, may be offered a chance to reintegrate into Asari society after spending sufficient time on Lessus. Active Ardot-Yakshi whose psychological profiles show capacity for neither empathy nor re-education are confined to the monastery for life.
Well, either they captured the Morinth or she's trying to liberate her sisters, I guess. Oh, right. Awesome. Let's go and talk to everyone, and sadly that will be the end for today.
Goddamn Cerberus bastards. And Udina too. Son of a bitch.
That's crap. Udina made a deal with the devil. He got what he deserved.
No, he had the right idea. He was
Commander,
just a
I've got a
moron.
lead on something interesting. Have you got a minute?
I have.
Commander, I've found something you need to see.
What have you got?
A group of Cerberus scientists cut ties and fled. Perhaps they finally realized they were on the wrong side. We don't know what they were researching, but they were among the Elusive Man's top scientists. They could help build the Crucible.
Well, why not? The Elusive Man's top scientists, they must be very intelligent then.
Maybe we could recruit them.
Ah,
Lots of Cerberus people think they're doing the right thing. I know I did.
And you were right, Commander. Whatever crimes Cerberus is committing now, I was on Horizon when the Collectors attacked.
Really?
You'll recall I mentioned growing up in the Terminus systems. I was visiting my family at home. While the Alliance was running studies, you were saving me and my family.
Has the Alliance tried to make contact with the scientists?
They've been unable to find them, but they're searching. As is Cerberus. I've been monitoring Cerberus communications. I've charted signal frequency from various Cerberus cells by location and cross-referenced known ship movements.
You found them?
I believe so, yes.
Nice work. Put it on the map and I'll give it a look.
Thanks for your time, Commander.
most certainly will do that. She's very capable,
Commander?
isn't she? Always looking for ways
Commander?
to help us.
Commander, Dr. Chakwas sent word that she'd like to speak with you down in the medbay.
Okay. Much more proactive than... that's the scary level you were talking about.
Damn, I could really use something to shoot right now.
I can give you... morphine.
So Cerberus wanted to go into politics, huh? Nice job shutting those assholes down.
Didn't you used to work for those assholes? Something about leather seats.
I worked for Cerberus when they were vigilantes helping the helpless. Now they're a little too mainstream. And evil. The important thing is that you kick their asses. And also that Ash aced the don't shoot your commander portion of the Normandy reinstatement test.
More importantly, we finally got the Council on our side.
Be great if they could help us before the galaxy caught fire, but it's the thought that counts. Commander? Commander?
Hello, Shepard.
What's on your mind, Edie?
The destruction of the Reaper on Tuchanka. It is rare for a technologically superior force to be destroyed by an inferior one.
Yeah, so now all we need is a gun that fires Thresher Maws.
That was a joke.
I'm sorry, Shepard. I was contemplating. You said that asking you abstract social questions may lead to unreliable answers, so I stayed silent.
I didn't realize this would be an ongoing issue. Let's air it out.
I was considering this. For all their supposed intelligence, the Reapers are more easily destroyed than they think. This has caused me to reassess the probable period of time before I am non-functional.
You're worried about dying?
In a sense. My processing power is consumed with calculations to help us combat the Reapers. But I can run those scenarios with the rest of the crew. May I ask you another question that troubles Jeff?
Here we go again.
What is the purpose of synthetic life?
Well, synthetic life... they have free will. No. Well, I don't do renegade, pure renegade visors. I wanted Udina to shoot the fucking Asari consular. I wanted her to die so much, to see her bluest skull plastered all over the floor. That's what I wanted. But I didn't get that, did I? Yeah. The purpose of synthetic life, yeah, like the Geths. The Geths have free will. They all have free will. They have freaking democracy.
It's not that different from organic life. A free-willed synthetic chooses what it wants.
But the purpose of organic life is to preserve itself long enough to replicate copies of its genes in succeeding generations. My purpose is not so clear. The other successful synthetic life forms that I have examined for comparison are the Geth and the Reapers.
Well, it's true. If the evolution of mankind culturally has shown something, is that even though less organic, less developed organic beings do concern themselves mostly with surviving and procreating, the higher echelons do not, such as us. And I am a fucking proof of that. I'm playing a game. I'm not trying to survive or even feed. Just enjoying myself. Entertainment.
Reproduction isn't all there is. We find meaning in the work we do. Good deeds we accomplish. Love.
I see. I will search my files on the biographies of humans to see if prominent figures follow the pattern you suggest. It appears many humans did in fact do so.
That was quick. Gotta love quantum computing.
Shepard, I will alter my processing power to give priority to your
No!
duty, altruism, love.
Wait, you're just gonna turn yourself good? Can you do that?
It should take some time. If I have further questions, I will speak with you again. Thank you.
Not in the middle of the war. Holy fuck.
Are you and Ashley okay? The last time she saw that body, it wasn't exactly pleasant.
I have informed her of the situation. She is taking it well.
Good.
Hello, Shepard.
That's what I get for telling the truth. I will shift my processing power to thinking about love. Are you fucking kidding me?
Commander, there's a new message at your private terminal.
Okay. I don't have anyone, I think. By serious, I haven't got anyone. K-Lang's dossier from Stephen Hawking. Shepard, promise, here's what we have on K-Lang. Okay. Name K-Lang. Date of System Alliance Military Enlistment, November 14, 2172. Age of Enlistment 16. Credentials faked. Yeah, I have seen that I can purchase a power, but since I haven't even maxed out my own, I don't see a reason to buy another. Maybe you know a power that I should have? Tours of Duty, 2182, Terminal System, Patrol and Reconnaissance. 7133, Exodus Cluster, Patrol and Reconnaissance, reprimanded for taking mails from a dead enemy officer. Sentence reduced in light of previous exemplary service record. 2174, Rayton Entillion, recommended for Systems Alliance Mail of Valor. 2175, Kite's Nest, Tactical Reconnaissance, accepted into Interplanetary Combatives Academy. 2176, received N7 designation from Interplanetary Combatives Academy. 2176, dishonorable discharge and imprisoned as their charge of first-degree murder. Cerberus activities. Intel on K-Lang's activities after joining Cerberus is spotty. What is known is that the elusive man arranged for Lang's escape from prison, employing him as an operative for the next 10 years. Lang is now believed to be the elusive man's most trusted agent, working as an infiltrator and assassin. His cybernetic modifications appear to include Cerberus Phantom-class implants. From James Vega. Hey, Commander. Just wonder if you got a minute. Intermittent feature, nothing critical. Just wanted to chat. Vega. Aha! We're finally going to have sex. Unless Liara makes a move in the next half an hour, I'm going to fuck that guy. Yeah. On my Pegasus, I can only do so much, Visors. More Jersey Shore. Oh. From Agent Victus, Commander Shepard, Cerberus was ambushed. Just ambushed a Turian cruiser full of high-ranking hierarchy officials. The cruiser managed to escape, but its location was top secret. Cerberus couldn't have located the ship without inside information. The only person who knew the cruiser position was Sabaulion's ambassador, Drinkorlak. I've heard ugly rumors about a bounty on his head. My advisor insists I can break these accusations against Golrak myself. I admit they're right. The Turian and Bullius economies are tightly intertwined, and not in. And now it's the time for political crisis that would result. But the security of our fleet is at stake. I ask you to investigate Korlak in your capacity as a inspector, and find if he is indeed a Cerberus mole. I forwarded information on his last known location to Spectre offices in the Citadel. Regards, Prime Victus. From Alliance New Negro's partner, Elysium, an evacuation shuttle nearly destroyed as it attempted to escape the Reaper-occupied colony of Elysium was reportedly saved by a lone biotic worker after a lone biotic worker intervened. The shuttle was carrying children who drew higher numbers on the colony evacuation lottery, meaning they were not eligible to board the ship's first wave of shuttles leaving the planet. Their shuttle was saved when a biotic, identified by authorities as Ash-Lu, engaged Reaper forces that were preventing it from taking off. Akash-Lu had a history of drug abuse and criminal activity and claimed to have survived a Cerberus camp on Paragria as a child. Really? Witnesses said he killed several dozen Reaper creatures before he was overwhelmed, providing the shuttle just enough time to fly clear. From Jack. Okay. The students are kicking ass and taking names. They are keeping them on short rotation so they don't burn out. So we end up with lots of shore leave. Next time you hit the Citadel Combine Purgatory, I'll be here if you don't mind blowing shit up in the field. Yuck. Okay. Sit on interview. You're coming? Okay. Alright. The networks are going wall to wall with the courage of the attack on the Citadel. Everyone is asking questions about the Dina's death. Can I get an hour or so with you to talk about what happened? I'm thinking you're coming rather than the conference room so we don't get interrupted. I heard you knew the consul personally. If you need some time alone or don't want to talk about it, just say the word. Okay. Keep your fake concern to yourself. From Cortez. Shepard. After you left the refugee memorial, I met an old friend who was helping out colonists with logistics. She and her buddies are ex-Alliance pilots, damn good ones, who left the service to build a new life on the frontier. They're homeless now. When I told them about the forces being collected, they were eager to join. I've attached their contact information to forward to Hackett. Hopefully they can help. Thanks again for helping me through this. I'm feeling good. I think maybe we'll hit Purgatory next trip to Seattle. Want to join me for some drinks? Why not? Alright, from Samantha Trainer. Who the fuck is this woman? Commander, thanks for taking time to speak with me. With a civilian, I'd love to see how Commander Shepard kills time between missions. Why don't you give me a call if you like to grab drinks in your cabin? I promise a night of fun and games. I don't know who this is. I'm going to call everyone. Monogamy's over for me. Fuck Liara and her games. It's time to have fun before we die again. Let's do this interview. Ah, Trainer is that woman.